everybody. This is Dusk. Welcome to Realm of the Sacred Roots. Well, today I wanted to talk to you about my pact with Moloch, basically a contract with him. And this happened actually just yesterday. And I said, I think I'm going to share this with you guys. Well, I have another video that's out. It's called something to the effect of my journey to the underworld with Moloch. So it's probably a good idea to watch that first so you can kind of have an idea of who Moloch is in my life. But in the meantime, and I got this really cool alchemy board. I really liked it. So hope you guys like it too. Anyways, let me tell you what happened when I was in my meditation room yesterday. I was walking out of my meditation room, ready to leave, and something pulled me back. Basically, I could tell there was a spirit or someone there wanting to speak to me. So I ended up going back, sitting down, and said, okay, let me meditate and see what's going on, who's trying to speak to me. So I went into meditation and I saw a person walking away from me down this path, and it was a winding path. He had a robe on with a hood, and I want to say it was sort of a light to medium blue, and he was walking away from me. And I called him out and I asked him what his name was, and he told me his name. So I basically asked him where he was going, and he wanted me to follow him. So I said, okay. So I followed him down this path. And I asked him where we were going, and he said, you'll see. So I kept following him down this path, and we ended up almost in this cabin like setting. So when I walked in to the cabin, I looked on the floor and I saw body parts. It was pretty gruesome, blood, but chopped up body parts laying in the middle of this floor. Now, this entity was over to my left, and I looked over to my right and I saw Moloch, and I saw him off to the distance. I almost wanted to say um, he had somebody else there with him. So I saw Moloch over there, and I realized at this point he wanted to be me to be some type of intermediary where this person with the robe, and he was an interesting character. He was actually quite disfigured. The person that was in the robe with the hooded robe was bringing these parts to me for me to actually take and then feed to Moloch. And I realized that Moloch wanted that closeness with me again. He wanted that connection that we had years ago back again, because he's now showing back up in my life again. So it was kind of a gruesome thing to feed him these body parts, and I won't go into the details about the parts and about whose parts and things like that. I'm leaving a lot of details out for a reason, because I'm still doing a working right now for a client, and because I'm in the middle of it, I will leave the details out. However, when I was discussing this with Moloch, he wanted something from me, and of course, and I was just in a mood that night. So I told him what I wanted, and one of them had to do with a hit. I call a hit on somebody's life. I usually don't do work like that anymore, but this is specifically for somebody who I'm close to, and it's necessary. I've deemed necessary. So I actually asked him for that and a couple of other things. So we made this contract, we made this pact between ourselves. And so I thought it was interesting because I'm going to consider this part 2 of the Moloch series, and I'll put it under demonology. But pay attention, number one, to the urging or the inkling sometimes of when you feel a spirit wanting to talk to you. Sometimes, some people ignore it, and I've done this in the past where I've just ignored it and kept my day moving because I have so much to do and it's the holiday season and things like that. But you never know how important that phone call with the spirit may be. So pay attention to your instincts when you get that urge that somebody wants to speak with you. Go ahead and take that phone call because you never know who it might be and how it will benefit you. Would be the first thing I'd have to say on that. The second thing, pay attention to, and I had to learn this, your visions, your dreams, your meditations, the details in there. It took me a long time to try to pay attention to what color was the guy's robe? What did he look like? In this case, he was disfigured. How was he walking? What kind of path was he walking on? What type of house were we in? What were the body parts? Were they adults? Were they children? Uh, Pay attention to those details. What side was he standing on? And what side was the demon standing on that I was communicating with? And then ask questions in your meditations. Ask questions to the spirits in your dreams because that's how you get the answers. And those were two things that took me a long time to learn. To ask questions of the spirits. Now I get the names of spirits. Now I get the details. Colors mean a lot. The way you feel in your dream meditation means a lot. And take a look around at the atmosphere and then ask questions, get details, know where you're standing. What are you wearing? How does it feel? Those were questions and things that I never really paid attention to. And I had to learn because once you come out of that and you write down your meditations in your journal, then you can actually analyze what it is. Who was it? And you have to test the spirits. Not every spirit is who they say they are and what they are. So take a look at your journal once you've written down what you've experienced and analyze it. And that way you kind of have an idea of what exactly came out of that session that you had with the spirit, in this case with the demon Moloch. So again, I think he wants closer contact with me again. My thoughts being the way they were before, and also spreading his name. Sometimes I think that they don't want to be forgotten, almost like our ancestors and how we give offerings to our ancestors, how during their birthdays we remember them, things like that. I almost feel like, and I've never really heard or seen anyone else talk about this, but this is just how I feel. I almost feel like entity spirits, demons are the same way, where they want you to talk about them so that others hear their name and are curious and research it, almost as a way to keep them alive, just like how we feed our ancestors offerings and our thoughts and we pray and talk to them. It's the same type in a way, not exactly the same, but it's similar with the demons that I work with, and with Moloch. So I wanted to share that with you on this journey here about Moloch. I thought it was interesting that we're now into a pack, and we'll fill you in on how that contract fills out as we go along. And then once I'm done with my client's work, if they have no problems with me sharing their story, then I will once the work is done. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe so you continue to get these videos if you haven't already. Thanks for watching.